Hi, Scripties. Welcome back to another episode of the Scripts and Screens podcast. This is episode 5. I'm your host, Imani Nicole.
And I'm Ashana Robinson.
Okay, Ashana, what's going on in Hollywood this week?
So, Marvel officially confirms that Jonathan Majors' Kane the Conqueror will be replaced by Dr. Doom, played by none other than Robert Downey Jr. At the Comic-Con in San Diego, I don't know if it was yesterday, it was over the weekend, the Comic-Con.
Yeah, I saw people posting it.
Right. So, Robert Downey Jr. revealed himself by this dramatic unmasking in front of the audience. He was on stage with a bunch of Dr. Dooms, and they were all dressed in green. And then he steps to the front of the stage and rips his mask off. While, of course, the crowd goes crazy because no one is expecting for Iron Man to turn into Dr. Doom. This was hilarious to me. If y'all don't know anything else about me, listeners, I'm a Kanye fan. I'm a Will Ferrell fan. And I think Robert Downey Jr. is up there as well. Only because like his performance in Tropic Thunder, like every time I see his face,
I love that movie, and you know it has such bad reviews, but I love that movie.
I'd be weak every time I see his face. Like no matter what he's doing, I just picture him in that role.
Tropic Thunder.
So like when he did this, it wasn't supposed to be funny, but when I tell y'all I was weak seeing him stand there with the mask like that, like I was dying.
No, literally.
I just see that black man, that black face. Of course, he's not a black man, but if y'all haven't seen the movie, he played a white actor pretending to be black in blackface for a movie. It's like satirical, so y'all have to see it. But literally everything he does is hilarious to me. So when I was watching it, I was just weak. Like, I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen Avengers. Like, and if I have seen Avengers, I didn't see like the epic one where like Chad Boseman dies and everybody was confused on like how Black Panther died. I know, shame on me. But I feel like this is a cop-out move from Marvel. Like they fired him too quickly, clearly not following the innocent until proven guilty narrative, which once is supposed to have. And they were trying to say that like because his character it was in the Ant-Man Quantumanium, they said that is the worst performing Marvel movie ever made. And I feel like, okay, yeah, that might be true, but if you would have put him with Robert Downey Jr., there's no way it wouldn't have been like, I don't care how like Ant-Man performed. Like I don't think that's due to the actors themselves. That's another underlying issue. And I just feel like they could have made it work. Like, and they're choosing not to. And then to be replaced by Dr. Doom. Boo. Like, you know, I had to do a Reddit deep dive on this, and I wanted to know like how many Black Marvel villains are there, and there's actually quite a handful. So I'm just kind of confused why like we're replacing a Black man with a white man. That's really confusing to me. When it's already super saturated, and the whole point is to like be more inclusive. At this point, bring Killmonger back.
Right.
That's the only version of Michael B. Jordan that I actually understand why women go crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on them replacing him with Dr. Doom?
Well, people, you know, again, I'll be on the internet. People kept bringing up, well, for one, I think, where do I start? I'm sorry. Okay, so for one, I do think, like you said, it's a cop-out. People kept bringing up the fact that Robert Downey Jr. had his own past legal troubles, so I had to Google because I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So apparently back in 1996 to 2001, he had a lot of drug-related charges, and he spent time in both rehab county jail, and prison. But, I mean, 1996 is approaching 30 years, so I feel like you really can't
we were too.
compare that. Yeah. But I do agree that Marvel moved way too swiftly by firing Jonathan Majors that soon, but I don't think he'll be on, like, their shit list for long. I think once everything really blows over and he keeps parading around with Megan Good, he's going to start getting his roles back. I think they're trying to stand on business. Like, okay, yeah, we might have fired you too quick. They probably know they fired him too quick, but they're
so they can't admit fault. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's really what they're doing. And I don't know. I think they thought they were going to win people back with this Robert Downey Jr. reveal. I don't know. But I know Jonathan Majors did pick up a lead role in another movie. So hopefully that picks up for him, and maybe they'll bring him back, maybe not, but
yeah, I hope so.
We'll see.
Okay, moving into our first plot and pop pick of last week, we did Back to Black, which is about singer Amy Winehouse and her tumultuous relationship with Blake Fielder Civil, which inspired her to write and record the groundbreaking album Back to Black. Amy Winehouse is played by Marissa Abella. What were your thoughts on this movie?
First of all, I think it's so ironic that her album Back to Black has a song on it called Monkey Man, and we're reviewing both of them today. When I was scrolling, I was like, what? But I'm really glad that we picked this movie. I probably wouldn't have checked it out if you hadn't suggested it. I mean, I didn't really know anything about her except for like her big like poofy hair and like her
signature
eyeliner,
look,
her piercing, and then the song Rehab is the only song I know by her, which I found out won a Grammy in 2008. I found that out through the movie. And it also gave me a new appreciation for her as a person and her music. And she's also a Virgo. Her birthday is 2 days before mine. So, yeah, you
y'all
already know
both
how I feel
crazy as
about
hell.
that. Yes. Yes. I was like, it makes sense now.
It adds up. Yeah, the odds are crazy that we are reviewing Monkey Man and she has a song called Monkey Man. And like you, I didn't know much about Amy as well. Like I thought she died by suicide. I apologize for not being well informed, but she actually died of alcohol intoxication at the age of 27, which is crazy. I really enjoyed this movie and I never knew that she was writing all her music and that it was based on her life. Like, but the movie was super sad, but so good at the same time. And I think it's just so crazy that no matter how much money or fame you have, you still do things that aren't very smart. You still pick men that like aren't necessarily the best choice for you and don't really have much to offer. Like Amy had it all and she could care less about the money. And her relationship was her identity, which I hated for her. And that scene killed me when she was saying to Blake, like, you're not my mate. You're my fucking heartbeat, my soul. I love you. Like, and she was one of a kind. That's for sure. Like one of a kind.
Why you didn't pull that British accent out when we was in London last year?
I did. No, you don't remember.
It wasn't that good.
I did. It was. I did it at the hookah lounge, and the girl was like, "Oh my god, you're bloody good!" Like she was like, "You're good."
Yes. Then that's when she switched into her Valley accent when she was trying to. Her Valley accent when she was trying to talk about it.
Where are you guys from? Yes, yes, girl. I did whip it out in London. They thought I was one of them for like 10 seconds.
I can't. But I kind of dislike discussing movies like this only because I feel like when I go to critique, like I'm not critiquing a character somebody wrote, like I'm really critiquing a real person and like their real life experiences. But I still say this: Amy was definitely a crash out. Like,
yeah, she crashed out.
Yeah, she was definitely a crash out. I don't think I ever want to love a man that much to make them
literally
for me to feel like I want to do that. And it's so crazy because they showed her like she didn't really care about men, it seemed like, until she met Blake. And then it was just like from 0 to 100 really quick after one encounter. I mean, I understand it was a whole day thing, but yeah. So again, our unofficial co-host, the internet, hated the movie. They claimed it softened the rough edges of Amy, but I thought she was pretty rough in the movie. I did notice that they didn't that I didn't realize she was bulimic until her husband actually said that, like as a reason for divorce while he was in the prison, which is also crazy because how do you get divorced? How are you divorcing me and you in prison? That is crazy. It's normally the other way around. Yeah,
you want it out bad,
right? So I'm thinking fans like maybe wanted to see more of that struggle, like similar to how you felt about the TV adaptation of Queenie, how she was really struggling in the book, but on TV, the show, it didn't really portray it. So maybe that's what they wanted. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy to me because I knew little to nothing going in, and I thought the actress who played Amy, Marissa Abel, did a fantastic job.
She did.
And she did a lot of singing in the film, which is incredible because I thought she sounded great. But I do feel like if maybe I was a diehard fan, like, and knew the ins and outs of her life and knew that certain things were misconstrued, then I probably would feel like it wasn't a good portrayal. But I feel like you're never going to get it perfect. You're never going to make everyone happy. You're going to step on a few toes, and that's just what it is.
So I agree with that too. And I did more research too. I'm on my research shit this week.
No, literally.
So I watched a video. She was actually where she performed under the influence, right, Imani? I watched this video and it was so cringe. Like she couldn't get it together. She was like wobbling. So people were booing her. So then when she finally did start singing, it was like, she was like, people who are watching this, I know people are listening, but she's like kind of you can tell
Like
she was
scratching
like,
herself? Like she's like
yeah,
getting like the like
yeah,
withdrawals? Oh
yeah. Like
wow.
that's what she's doing, and she's this. It sounds really bad. I think if they would have put more of that in there, because it kind of had a scene where you could tell like she was a little tipsy or something, but it was
Yeah.
not nowhere compared to what she was actually doing in real life. And
Yeah. And they
then,
flipped it and had her boo her husband.
right,
Because she was like, my husband is out of jail, Sid.
mm-hmm, right, but no, they was booing her because she was under the influence. And then she punched a fan at the Glastonbury Festival in 2008. Like she literally punched them. And they could have put that in the movie too. And I think if they would have put those two scenes, it definitely would have showed me a completely different side of her. So,
Yeah, there they go
yeah.
switching things, and that's how I felt about
Mhm.
Queenie. It's like those little details, like she punched a fan, but in the movie you guys have her punch Blake, like which I'm
Mhm.
sure they did have
They
probably
probably
a
would.
physical
Right.
relationship, but it's like these are pertinent details that like you need to
Mhm.
put in the film. Like y'all are changing stuff that doesn't need to be changed. Keep
Yep.
what happened as what happened.
Yep.
And I did some research too. Me and Reddit are becoming like Reddit is like a third host.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I did a Reddit dive and like I was just looking at what people were talking about, and there was a
Mhm.
debate about Adele. And they were
Mhm.
saying Adele basically is what Amy Winehouse could have been to Americans had she lived long enough. Do you think that that's an accurate statement?
Absolutely. I actually think Amy would have been better because okay,
Really? Rolling in
yes,
the deep? Like, I don't
that
know.
is a. But Amy was like, she did you know she has songs with Nas and Jay Z?
No clue.
Yes. So she has a song with Nas. I don't know. I know she has at least one with Nas, and then Jay Z is on the
Mhm.
Rehab remix. I listened to it this morning on Apple Music. And apparently, according to Associated Press, he and Beyonce even offered Amy to stay with them for a while to get clean.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow.
so I think she would have been bigger because she would have spanned over like different genres. I feel like
True.
she would have had a lot more songs with rappers. And
Yeah.
if Jay-Z is offering for her to stay in his house, he definitely would have had a backing for her. But she would have had to have been clean though. Clean
Yeah, cause
Amy.
yeah, I
Not
get
the strung
that.
out Amy, but yeah, clean Amy. But
Yeah.
yeah, compared to Adele, Adele is amazing. They both have this soulful voice, but I just feel like Amy would have been making tracks with who knows. Would
No,
have had
true.
the little trapper kids bumping some Amy Winehouse along with
No,
Future. Like
literally. No, literally. I didn't think about it like that, but that's so true because Adele's lane is just Adele's lane. Like
yeah.
she has her lane and she does it phenomenally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I never thought about that because like I could see her touching everything. We're doing country because I think she
Mm-hmm.
really, not saying Adele doesn't, I don't know enough about Adele and maybe one day I will, but she was really in tune with the music. She was really like, I love jazz. Like she really likes the
Mm-hmm.
ground roots of like what music is. And they
Mm-hmm.
even like we're saying we want to take you, like we want to put a band behind, like she liked in the beginning, she liked playing the guitar. And I remember them saying like, we got to change up your stage presence. Like we're going
Right.
to have someone, like we're going to take you out of the guitar and give you more of it. And she's like, why are you guys,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Spice Girl. And
Right.
she,
She was so mad.
she really was. I love the
Mm-hmm.
movie though. I don't know
Me
enough about Amy
too.
Winehouse, but like it's a sad story and
Mm-hmm.
it's unfortunate. Like to die at 27 from alcohol intoxication, and she was taking
After
them
being
like she was drinking
sober.
them bad.
Yeah, she was
And
sober
then
for a
like
long period of
and then
time.
I forgot about this. And then Blake gifting her a like crack pipe. I got something for you, baby. I'm like, what?
And I don't know if you remember that scene too, but this was before he gave her the crack pipe. Because you know she was on him about snorting cocaine. But the
Yes,
first time like
yes.
she really crashed out to me, she went from like straight to crack. I'm like, how do you go from weed to crack? Like you ain't
I
about to pop a pill or
know.
nothing. Like you jump right into crack.
Yeah, after you were just giving him a whole speech about it
Yeah.
and like saying how you do weed, but he does crack. Like, I mean, he does
Yeah.
cocaine. All in the
Yeah.
same family, cousins and uncles. Ugh,
Yes. Yeah.
just a mess. All right,
Yes.
take it away with our second plot and pop pick of last week.
All right. Our second one was Monkey Man. A young man ekes out a meager living in an underground fight club where night after night, wearing a gorilla mask, he is beaten bloody by more popular fighters for cash. After years of suppressed rage, he discovers a way to infiltrate the enclave of the city's sinister elite. As his childhood trauma boils over, his mysteriously scarred hands unleash an explosive campaign of retribution to settle the score with the men who took everything from him. So basically, a young kid, aka Bobby, aka Monkey Man, watched his mother be raped. Was she raped? I was trying to figure out.
That's what it was giving, but they didn't show. And that's what this
Right,
movie did a lot of that, where you like you kind of have to connect the pieces.
right, because it looked like he was trying to. Then she cut him, and then like when he had her on the ground, he they were grunts. I don't know. I couldn't tell. And it looked like he
Yeah.
was zipping his pants up. We're going to say she was
Yeah.
raped. She was raped. And so he saw his mother be raped and murdered by a corrupt police officer. And after which the police officer burned down his home and his entire village. What did you think about it?
This movie gave me Indian John Wick vibes.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
It was visually appealing, but to me, it lacked creativity. Like, there was nothing unique about this movie. It was just boy gets revenge on a man who kills his mom, which I think we've seen a million times. And then the thing that I thought was a twist of the Baba Shakati, I thought he trained him, and then he ended up being the guy at the top. So I was like, oh, there's the twist. But I don't know. It just, I knew something was bad with him, but it didn't sit right with me. But I just did not, this film just didn't do it for me at all. I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters. I'm glad I waited till it came to a streaming platform. Because I think because when you see names like Jordan Peele and even the main actor, Dev Patel, you have high expectations. And it wasn't a bad film. It just didn't meet my expectation and wasn't what I expected and was way too predictable for me. Like, there was nothing really besides, okay, he's going to get revenge and like, he's clearly going to start, like, it was all just so predictable from the first 30 minutes, in my opinion.
Yeah. And yeah, I think you're getting confused. The temple leader, Alpha, they both had gray hair and they both were old.
Yeah, I definitely thought they were the same person.
Yes. But yeah, I agree. The movie was pretty straightforward. Jordan Peele was a producer on it, but this definitely was not a Jordan Peele film. And that's what I realized very quickly. It wasn't. I was surprised that he was trying to attack so early, but I mean, it turned out being a fail because I'm like, I felt like he wasn't prepared, which we saw.
Yeah, you weren't ready.
He wasn't. And then after he went to the temple with Alpha and trained and really found himself, he did come back with a vengeance. You could definitely feel the newfound confidence he had radiating off of him when he went back to his underground.
Yeah, like he's like, I'm ready now.
Yep. And the crowd was so used to him allowing himself to be beat up that when he was winning, they were confused. Like the crowd was silent.
They were, and then they were like, Multi-Man!
Right. Like, as we do as a society, we jumped on a bandwagon. And I can't even lie, I do the same thing because I had to realize, y'all know I went to Drake last season. I was at Drake's concert in March at floor seats, and then I was singing OV Ho by May. So I know it's people's nature just to jump on the bandwagon and go where the winners are. Yeah, so they did that, and they were now Team Monkey Man. But again, like you said, I did love the cinematography on the movie. The color palette they chose, like that red, black, really gave like murder, revenge, camera angles. I like how it was like switching point of views. But what
the music was good.
Music too.
To me, it's like giving 6.7, 7 at the most. It just didn't do it for me, but I would give it a passing grade, but it wasn't phenomenal. Not something I'll ever watch again. Not something that I would be like, you guys have to see Monkey Man. It's so good. Yeah, like I'm glad I got to see it with my subscription to Peacock and I didn't pay $20 at the theaters to see it. Yes. What about you? What do you give it?
I think I give it a 7. A 7 out of 10. Yeah, the same thing. So.
All right. Moving into our recommended.
All right. So our recommended was a TV show and called Your Honor. A respected judge's son is involved in a hit and run and leads to a high-stakes game of lies, deceit, and impossible choices. The series was actually recommended by 2 of our listeners, Shael and Shayla. Shael's Instagram is Shael_Shael, and then Shayla X Ray. Shael gave notes on season 1, which we're doing today, and then Shayla will give notes on season 2, which we'll go over the next episode. And the show is currently in the top 10 of Netflix. So basically the gist of the show is Judge Desiato's son Adam hits the son of an infamous crime boss, Jimmy Baxter, while having an asthma attack. Unable to breathe and effectively communicate with 911, Adam leaves Rocco Baxter to die on the side of the road. While Judge Desiato attempts to cover up the hit and run for his son, a young black man named Kofi takes the blame and is murdered in prison by Rocco's older brother, Carlo. I really enjoyed this movie. I was worried at first due to the length of the episode because it seems like my attention span like maxes out at 40. Like once it hits 40, I'm like, all right, I gotta turn it.
Right.
But this really kept me intrigued the entire time, and my heart really broke for Kofi and his family, especially his little brother Eugene. So, what are your thoughts, Miss Imani?
So I didn't ever plan on watching this. Like I heard people at my job talking about it. Did not plan on watching it. I was like, it sounds like a whole lot going on. Too much for me. So I'm going to pass. But I'm glad we did watch it. This was quite enjoyable. a lot of emotions, a lot of twists and turns. And I always like a show or movie when it can get me to verbally, like while I'm watching it, be like, oh my God. And like, that's of course what episode 10 did for me. I thought it was a great cast and everyone performed very well.
And Shael agreed with her notes. She said overall she really enjoyed the show. She stated that episode 10 was also a jaw dropper for her as well. Same for me. I think anybody watched the show, episode 10 was literally for them. Yeah. She was most annoyed by Judge and Adam Desiato, which I also think everyone was. The wildest part about this show for me, and I even think for the characters, Judge Michael Desiato and Jimmy Baxter, was the fact that Adam had the audacity to basically go date Thea Baxter after killing her brother. Like, he sought her out. Like, I don't know. I don't know what kind of person you have to be to do something like that. Out of all the girls in New Orleans, look, apparently he was into women too, grown women. So out of all the women in New Orleans, right? Why would you go after
young,
this girl?
old?
Yes. So I found myself saying, like, I'm ready for Adam to die, which I normally don't do that with a lot of characters, but
yeah,
I was ready for Adam to die, not knowing that, spoiler alert, y'all, at the end of the season, it was going to end with him dying. Yeah. And the most ironic part is the fact that so many people died in the effort to prevent him from being killed by the Baxters.
Right.
But he died at the Baxters' party in the Baxter Hotel, choking on his own blood like Rocco Baxter did.
Yeah. I was just like, all that for what after that last episode? Like, I literally felt like Adam was the bad guy. I feel like Adam is the grown-up Edgar. Edgar was the name of the boy from Eric, right? That ran away?
Yes.
Okay. Just privileged as hell. And Adam just pissed me off so bad. Like, your dad is a judge and he's doing everything literally physically, mentally possible to keep you out of harm's way. And all he wanted to do was just be ungrateful. And him dating Thea was so outrageous to me. Crazy. And then even also the teacher, like, who was called out by the god dad, who was the aspiring mayor, Charlie, and she was still wanting to pursue the relationship, was crazy to me. Like, girl, he has a new girlfriend. And someone is telling you that you can go to jail because this boy is not 18. And you're still like, I think he needs me. Like, girl, wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah. And thinking back to Miller's Girl that we talked about earlier this season, if the tables were turned, that teacher Fanny would have been a man. They would have put her ass in Orleans Parish Prison along with Kofi and Carlos. Yeah, along with Kofi and Carlos. But because she's a woman, like, but yeah, so we did talk last episode too about the impact of mothers on their sons, and Miss Baxter and her son Carlo are definitely an example. Mama says kill, Carlo kills. It's like she trained Carlo to be one of her soldiers, but I didn't get that vibe from the brief relationship shown with her son Rocco before he passed. Yeah. And it reminded me of The Brother's Son, which we reviewed last year, how like one son was viewed as the killer by the mom, and then she babied the other one.
Yes, I didn't even make that connection. That's a really good connection. I could not stand the mom. I honestly felt like Jimmy Baxter is an honest and potentially good man.
Yes, definitely.
And that he married like the devil's spawn. And you could just tell because the daughter took more after him and Carlo took more after his mom. And Adam and the mom made Jimmy and Carlo look like saints.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy showed remorse. Like, he only did things because Carlo... He only did things because the wife was like, this is not enough and you need to do now. And the other guy's like, yeah, we need to act now, boss. And I feel like he was really trying to like gather himself, figure out next steps. And his wife just kept pushing him like, we need to make a move now. We need to go big right now.
Right.
And I can't blame Carlo. Like, I felt like Carlo didn't look like a bad person because I'm telling you right now, if I am under the impression that you ran over my sister, left her on the curb dying, and you come into my cell, I'm whooping ass. Like, I'm going to beat you to a pulp. And I just felt like I didn't understand why the lawyer didn't go with the narrative of pleading insanity. Like, oh, when he came in, I just went black and I just started going crazy. I didn't even realize what I was doing.
Yeah. No, I was waiting for an insanity plea the entire time because if I was a lawyer, that would have been my use because
the go-to.
Yeah, because of that. So an interesting point that Shael brought up, I want to know how you feel about it. She said that she felt Judge Desiato was covering for Adam for selfish reasons. She believed that Judge Desiato himself would die if they found out about Adam. So he claimed to be doing it all for Adam, but he was really trying to save himself. Do you agree with that?
Get that vibe. I believe he really was trying to save his son and had every intention of turning him in until he walked in there and realized who this boy had just ran over. And I think that the judge had it correct. Like, if they found out that he ran him over, even if it was an accident or not, there just would have been so many things like, well, why did you pull off into the shoulder and like grab your inhaler? And then it would have to go back to, which I think were Desire. I mean, they weren't showing who it was, but whoever was in the car, like intimidating, which caused the asthma attack, I think was Desire. Like, I think that was Desire in that truck. So it's like, then we got to point fingers. And like, I feel like that's why whoever's in that truck didn't say anything, just drove off, because you intimidated that boy to the point where he had to drive. He was literally speeding, could not see, dropped his inhaler, trying to find it. So I feel like I don't see that for that, but I do think that he wasn't into Carmen like that. I think he was attracted to Carmen, but I don't think he was really interested in Carmen. I don't think he really wanted to pursue a relationship with Carmen.
Wait, who?
The lawyer.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So I feel like he sped that up and like said things like, I love you and like, I want to go out to eat, only to save his son. I really don't think he was locked in with Carmen the way he tried to portray it. I feel like he just was trying to save himself in that situation and use her, but I don't think he was trying to save his own back. What do you think?
No, I definitely feel like he was using Carmen and he was using Natalie Costello, the detective, because she liked him too.
The lawyer or the sister of the lawyer of the lawyer for the state.
Sister?
Yeah, they're sisters, and I didn't figure that out, but they're sisters. So okay, so the lawyer that was going against
like the half black one, the black, like she's like,
I don't know if she's half black, but okay, you know the lawyer that was going against Carlo's lawyer.
Yeah, she was black. That's why she was in the hood. She could have been going through the hood with a white woman. Because I was like, Mom, she looks kind of black. Mom's like, yeah, she is black.
I mean, they made her hair textured, but I didn't think she was black. But yeah, that woman that was behind her, that was like, basically when she like came outside and she was like, you better leave him and Adam alone. They're sisters. They're both of their last name is Costello.
Really?
Yes, they're sisters.
Oh.
So that's why she was always sitting behind her sister every day at court and like listening, like, yeah, she's in the legal field too, but they're sisters.
Oh, well, they both like that man. They both like Judge Jessiana.
So you think the one that like was like, I need a statement about the car, likes the judge?
I think that's what he called her. But did you also get the vibe that he was messing with Carmen, like when she was an intern?
No. Yeah. So you think he was cheating too? Because you know, like the whole thing came out about the wife cheating. So you think he was messing around while she was alive still?
They were kind of insinuating, like, because even his mother-in-law was like, oh, you're the intern. Like, when she came over that day unannounced for their family dinner, when everybody was there, and she just kind of popped up at 9:00 at night.
Yeah.
And she was like, I want to run something by Judge Desiato. And she was like, at 9:00 at night.
Yeah, like, be for real.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, her name was Lee. I used her real name when I was talking about the lawyer. Her name was Lee in the show. Her real name is Carmen.
Oh, I was like, who is... Okay, gotcha. Lee. So she was Lee Costello.
Lee Delamere.
So who was...
No. Okay, there's two different lawyers. I think that's where you're getting confused. Okay, now I get exactly what you're saying now. I'm talking about the actual lawyer that's on this, that was defending the state against the case.
Right. We're on the same page now. It was like a shit like gray, like bangs.
Yeah, it's like really strong. Yeah, I know she's mixed. Yeah, she looks mixed for sure. Okay. But yeah, she not the black one, the one that was actually on trial defending Kofi.
Gotcha. Okay.
She's sisters with the other lady that was like, you better leave Adam and such alone, who has like her hair is more like. Okay. Yeah.
We're on the same page now. Okay, because I thought you was talking about that half black one or whatever. I was
like, no. That's how I was like, I mean, they made her hair kind of like textured straw, but I didn't think that they were.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yes. Interesting. No, I did not catch that. So now I know. But she was not about to let up off the Baxters. I was like, good for her. She wasn't scared of them.
She wasn't. She was like, yeah, no problem. Like, what's up?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I definitely enjoyed this.
Me too.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's on Netflix.
I'm worth the hype.
It is still in the top 10. I wrote this a few days ago. It was, so it might still be, it might not, but it'll be up there on Netflix, Your Honor. And then while you're there, go ahead and watch season 2, because next week we'll be talking about season 2.
Yeah, binge it.
And then along with that, it's The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster, which is on Hulu, and then Love Lies Bleeding, which is on HBO Max.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate every view, every like, every person that subscribes, comments. We appreciate all of it. So please keep it up. Keep doing it. Please keep sending us your recommendations. There's so many movies and there's so much time. We're doing this weekly. So send us what you got and we will get to it at some point. I don't know when we'll get to it, but we want the recommendations. We want to know what people are watching. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.